Hey guys, it's Val. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be teaching you how to rebind a book from a paperback to a hardcover edition. Now, if you didn't know and you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Val. I am in love with books, and I recently fell back in love with books a little over a year ago, and immediately after that happened, I fell in love with bookbinding and taught myself how to do it. But now I am here to teach others how to do it. I have done a tutorial on this about a year ago, and since then a lot of things in my process have changed, so I thought I would make an updated one to show you guys and to just, I don't know, make sure I'm not teaching the wrong thing. So we're gonna go ahead and maybe private that last video and this is the new one. So welcome to a step-by-step tutorial on how to rebind your books into custom hardcover editions. First things first, you're going to have to rip off the cover or cut it off. I'm going to be rebinding the Target Special Edition of Onyx Storm in this video. Then you're going to cut your book board the same width as the book itself, but add 8 millimeters to the height. Same thing goes for the spine. You're going to keep the width the same, but add 8 millimeters to the height. I like to use a box cutter for this. You may be left with some jagged edges, especially if your blade needs to be replaced. So to fix that, you can just grab a little sandblock thing or sandpaper, a nail filer even. That's what I used to use. I just got these little sand block things from Walmart for like literally $3. They're really convenient. Next, you're going to cut a piece of cardstock the same height as the spine, but you're going to add like an inch of space on each side, and then go ahead and glue that down. Once that's glued down, you can go ahead and flip it over and then flatten out any air bubbles using your bone folder. Then you're going to go ahead and take the bone folder and create the spine hinges. Be really careful when doing this because it is really easy to poke a hole in the cardstock, and you'll basically just have to restart this whole step if you do that. So just be mindful of that and don't press too hard. Then taking a 6mm T-spacer, you're going to go ahead and place that against the spine hinge and glue on the front and back covers. You can use anywhere from 6 to 10 millimeters for this. I've seen people use up to 10. I've only ever used 6 or 7, and again right here I'm using a 6mm T-spacer that I got from Amazon. You could even 3D print these if you have a 3D printer, but I got mine from Amazon. All of the tools that I mentioned in this video and that I use in general will be linked down below. I do have it all put together in an Amazon storefront for you guys, so it's easy to access and refer to if you need it. Next, we're going to go ahead and glue the case to the book cloth. Make sure that you're using a paper-backed book cloth, and I like to cut it to where there's about an inch left of cloth hanging over each side. Then you can go ahead and glue down the spine. I like to glue down the spine and then the spine hinges first before gluing down the front and back covers. And by that, I just mean doing the spine and the hinges and then letting the glue sit for about 15 minutes and then gluing the front and back covers, as you'll see me do. Make sure to use your bone folder to flatten out any air bubbles. And then I also use the bone folder to go ahead and press down on the spine hinges to make sure that the creases are really creasing. Go ahead and let that sit for about 15 minutes before continuing to the next step. Then taking a larger silicone brush, you're going to go ahead and glue down the rest of the book cloth. Now make sure to use your bone folder again to flatten out any air bubbles. I also like to use the vinyl flattening tool to flatten out any air bubbles as well for this. I feel like it is just way more useful than the bone folder. You'll see me use it in about 2 seconds. Since we're going to need to glue down the extra flaps of cloth on the sides, we're going to go ahead and cut each corner, leaving about 2 to 3 millimeters of space from the corner of the book board to the end of the book cloth. Now you can go ahead and glue down the flaps and use the bone folder or a vinyl scraping tool to get out any excess glue or any air bubbles. Then after that's done, I just like to go over the hinges again with the vinyl scraping tool just to make sure that they stay super defined. Now to prepare the text block, you're going to take 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock paper and fold it in half, and then measure it the exact size of your text block. Say hi to my kitty Lucy. She wanted to join. She just sat here and watched me cut paper for like a good minute. Now you can go ahead and glue down your end pages to the text block. And once those are glued on, go ahead and place it into the book press. Now it's time to reinforce the spine. For this book, we already had a ribbon glued on, aka a bookmark, so I just went ahead and added more glue on top of it just to make sure it didn't go anywhere, and then put a headband on top. Then glue on the headband for the other side, and you can go ahead and glue on the mold cloth. Now it's time to do the actual cover design. Now there are actual tutorials on how to do this, as this would be a whole nother video that would probably be about another 10 minutes. So I use a Cameo 4 machine. A lot of people do use a Cricut. It's essentially the same thing. I think the Cameo is just louder, but it is cheaper. So if you're looking for a vinyl cutting machine and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I would definitely say go for the Cameo. I've had it for over a year now and I haven't really had any problems with it. And a cheaper route would also be getting a heat foil pen, which I also have linked on my Amazon storefront if you don't want to go the vinyl cutting machine route. So yeah, right here I am just cutting my design and weeding the vinyl, and then you will see me ironing it on with a mini heat press. And a little tip to my fellow animal owners, go ahead and have a lint roller nearby at all times whenever you're doing this part, because it's a lifesaver. Now it's time to go ahead and glue in our text block to the case. The last step, which is honestly, I think the most fun, but I hear a lot of binders say it's the most nerve-wracking because it is very final and there's no going back after this. If you mess this up, you gotta pull it out and restart, or, you know, there's no going back. To avoid the glue getting everywhere, go ahead and take a piece of paper and put it underneath the end page. And now taking a larger silicone brush, you can go ahead and glue down the entire page. I like to glue down the whole page first and then glue down the mold cloth on top and then go ahead and close the case over it. I said in my last bookbinding tutorial to leave a millimeter of space between the spine and the glue, but don't do that. Just go ahead and glue the entire page. I don't know why I said that. That's just how I learned it. That was my old way, but I don't do that anymore. Okay, so my battery died right when I was gluing in the book that I've been rebinding this entire video, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you me gluing in a different book. But basically, you're just gonna line up the case with the spine like perfectly. Make sure everything is just lined up exactly before you close that case in all the way. You'll see what I mean right here. And then go ahead and press down. I like to make sure that I immediately press down all the corners because that's what likes to lift first. Then taking the bone folder, you're going to go ahead and flatten out any air bubbles. and then close it up, put it in a book press, leave it overnight, and you're done. Look at her. If you are interested in a copy of her, go ahead and check out my website. I also offer the entire set, completely customizable. Anyway, shameless self-promo. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you learned how to make a paperback into a hardcover book. I want to see your books. Please tag me in them and comment if you have any questions. Feel free to like this video. It helps me out a lot. And subscribe for more videos about bookbinding, reading, fantasy, and so much more.